Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zach Nolan.
And I'm Carter Nolan.
And this is episode 19 of the Nolan Hockey Podcast. And so the three main topics that we are going to discuss today, if you haven't read the title, is Jordan Binnington's meltdown against the San Jose Sharks, the coaching change for the Calgary Flames, and Tom Wilson. Now, we'll get to Tom Wilson later in the video, which we will either timestamp, or we will just need you guys to wait a little bit and talk about two other topics. So
there's a lot of other interesting stuff to talk about
that we could talk about. We're trying to single out three.
Yep.
So first off, which one did you want to start with?
I want to start with the goalie, or not the goalie. Yeah.
Coaching change.
Coaching change. Sorry.
Okay, so. Yeah. Calgary Flames, after beating the Ottawa Senators 7-3, and Dylan Dubé getting a hat trick, which is interesting because it's his first ever, have chosen to fire their coach Jeff Ward and immediately rehired Daryl Suter. Now, if anyone is wondering who is Daryl Suter was the Flames coach all the way back when they had their miraculous 2004 run that led them to the Stanley Cup Final. Yep. He's that Suter. And he then went on to lead the Kings to 2 Stanley Cups, I believe.
Question. Was it him who grabbed the tongue of the mascot?
No, that's Craig McTavish from the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, yeah, because they're playing...
What would it make sense for him to grab it? It's his team.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry, I thought Flames...
I will say, though...
Obviously opposing team.
Calgary released this hype video on their YouTube channel. And it was... Ooh, because it just shows how much they went through with that 04 run, which was traumatizing as a childhood Flames fan myself.
Oh yeah, you love Kipper. So.
I love Kipper. I love Kipper. Mika Kiprusoff was
fantastic goaltender.
Well, not even just that. No. But don't finish me. You're not my twin. You're not my twin. You don't know what I'm saying.
I just said fantastic. Not allowed to compliment the damn. Alrighty.
Don't you speak ill of that name! You dare speak his name! Anyway.
I'm his only fan!
No, he was my inspiration behind my first Webkins username. ZKipper31. Get the in there!
Webkins.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I named everything after Kipper.
Oh my God.
And people were wondering, it's because they would just say Zed Kipper, and I'm like, no. Z Kipper, it sounds better.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here's the thing. I've heard a few fans opinions.
I have a lot of stories I could say about that.
Flames fans' opinions. One of them that I've heard come up quite often is that Suter will be a lot more tough on the Flames' players than Jeff Ward was. And right now, the Calgary Flames, with 24 games into the season, and it's about 28 games, which is halfway through the season, if I'm doing the math properly.
Yeah, 28.
So they're 4 games away from the halfway point. They are 11 wins, 11 losses, 2 overtime losses for a perfect 50%, 24 points. That puts them just under the playoff spot of the Montreal Canadiens, who have 26 points with 2 games in hand. So this is an interesting thing for me because Calgary, going into the season, looked like a team that had done a lot of things right, but hindsight is 20/20, and it's weird. So first off, they bring in Markstrom. Markstrom turns out to be okay. He's doing all right there.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, Markstrom is in his 30s.
Calgary brings in the entire Canucks roster.
Yes, they grab pieces of it, yes.
Well, they grab
They grab Josh Levo. He gets injured, which is a shame because Josh Levo, in my opinion, is a solid depth player. I would actually like him on the Jets if I could, at an affordable rate. He reminds me a lot of a Mason Appleton type player. They bring in Chris Tanev. That was fine because that was to replace Travis Hamonic and TJ Brody, who they've lost. Chris Tanev is fine in replacing Travis Hamonic. They did not grab a real defenseman to replace TJ Brody, I don't think, in my mind. I think TJ Brody is better than Chris Tanev for sure. Because Chris Tanev really, in my personal opinion, Chris Tanev's best season came when he was playing next to Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
And that helps a lot. Not to say he's not good. He is. But his numbers were bolstered by that. So when he comes over to the Flames, it wasn't as big. And then, like, David Rittich has not had a great season. It seems like we're only hearing about him when he's doing things bad. There's a lot of things that have kind of just like, a lot of people have branded the Calgary Flames offense as inconsistent. And I would agree with that statement, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Even Johnny Gaudreau is a little on the inconsistent side when it comes to playing.
Yeah.
He's kind of like...
You know what? We're playing against them, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, of course. As a division rival, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Johnny Gaudreau reminds me of a Kyle Connor. Because Kyle Connor can be inconsistent at times. Here's the difference. Kyle Connor has a better ensemble cast than Johnny Gaudreau. Whereas
sure.
Johnny Gaudreau is arguably the best or second best forward behind Matthew Tkachuk. Because Matthew Tkachuk is a very good forward, lest we forget. Kyle Connor can't say that... I don't think Kyle Connor can say that he's better than Mark Scheifele. Or maybe even Nikolai Ehlers. And then after that,
Ehlers
it's a race.
This season?
It's a race.
I don't know. Like I'd say most seasons
Yes.
I think he'd be able to say that, but this season,
But anyway,
I don't know.
Like I'm saying though, like, it makes your team a very shaky foundation. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. If I'm looking at Calgary, do I think they can turn it around? Maybe. I think they'll
What's the
definitely
difference between
improve.
them and Edmonton right now?
Edmonton has one game in hand, and Edmonton is 14-11-0. So Edmonton.
Can I see his numbers for a second?
So if I'm looking at that, it's funny because Edmonton doesn't have any overtime losses. So Edmonton either goes all out and wins, or just goes all out and gets no points.
Montreal's dropped quite a bit.
Montreal's dropped quite a bit though because they played us a few times too. And Montreal went on like a 5-game losing streak that revolved a lot around the Brendan Gallagher goal that got disallowed in the Ottawa Senators. And if you haven't checked out that video, we released a video on that. You should check it out.
Please make sure you say words correctly.
I do. I don't want to lose 24 minutes of footage again. That's a story for another day. Anyway.
And we've already went through it.
Anyway, so that's all I would say on that. The next thing, which is a little bit of late now. A little bit late. Well, speaking of late, it's 2:37 a.m. Cut me a break. Cut me a break.
Jordan
Give me a
Binnington.
break. Cut me some slack. Jordan Binnington was not a happy goalie and decided to get into a fight with pretty much everybody on the ice.
Honestly, it was just...
He goes up to the bench. Looks like he talks shit to Evander Kane and the guys on the bench. Then goes and hits Erik Karlsson as he's skating away. And then goes to try to talk up to Devin Dubnyk. Now, this is partially the arena's fault because why the hell does he have to... Like, he has to go a long way.
Yeah.
Like, that's rough. Because if the bench could support him, right? He goes to the bench and that's all done. Well, then.
Well, yeah, it's
at least 2 of those interactions, maybe not the one with the bench, but 2 of the 3 interactions doesn't happen.
You know what would have been worse? You remember when Corey Perry in that Winter Classic got thrown out and he had the longest walk of shame?
Yes, I do. And it's worth noting he only played like 10 seconds that game.
Oh, yeah, it was super quick.
Anyway, focusing on this.
The same concept sort of thing.
Jordan Binnington. Now, I love how much... So, Darren Pang is the one of the play-by-play guys that does it for St. Louis. And I listened to his broadcast when they were replaying it. And he's like, oh, you'll love to see it. That goalie's showing a lot of fight. And I'm like, Darren, you're a goalie. Do not defend that garbage. He's not showing a lot of fight after he gets pulled. He's throwing a hissy fit because he let in 4 goals. This isn't... taking random penalties on your way out is... ironically, the least amount of fighting that you could have done all game because you're doing nothing but handicapping your team. Now, the St. Louis Blues went on to win this game 7-6, but they were playing the San Jose Sharks, which is a dumpster fire, a bit of a dumpster fire right now. Yeah. They're a team with all offense, zero defense, and little goaltending.
And which goalie made the comment?
Devin Dubnyk, because he tried to pick a fight with Devin Dubnyk.
Yeah, and
Devin Dubnyk is about 3 inches taller than him at least.
I gotta say,
knocked him out. He would have knocked him clean out.
Well, one thing I'm gonna say is when I think of all the goalies in the NHL, and I think of goalies that are most scary being Robin Lehner, and least scary, Binnington is he's near the bottom of the list there.
I wouldn't say he's the bottom.
I don't know. He looked pretty nervous.
If I'm looking at,
I'm not gonna lie.
Actually, this should Goose question. Who would you say is the least threatening goalie in the National Hockey League?
The least threatening goalie.
I think I have an answer to it. It's not Fleury, right? Because Fleury's just such a sweetheart that you can't really think he's threatening. I would argue.
I don't know. I feel like if you got him really pissed, though.
Yeah, if you get him really pissed. But that's the difference with Fleury. The difference with Fleury, though, is Fleury becomes... When Fleury gets mad, he starts chopping. He doesn't punch you. He'll chop your frickin' ankles to shit. Oh, yeah. If anyone's ever watched the warm-ups of the Stanley Cup Finals in 2018... Ovechkin gets under his skin.
Oh,
Shut up! I'm telling a story.
I wasn't gonna say. I remember
oh
this
my! Are you Michael Cole? Oh, I know.
It's boss time.
The big dog. Anyway, but
boom.
Shut up. Anyway, but. Ovechkin pisses off Fleury in the warm-up to the point where Fleury just skates by and just goes, hack! And just hacks at him right on the shin pad. But still, it's like, oh, okay, Mark. Like, all right. I would say the least threatening goalie, maybe Oscar Dansk, the Golden Knights. Because he just has this reputation for being like an AHL goalie that he doesn't seem threatening to me at all. You know who else actually is one of the more threatening goalies?
Yeah.
Mike Smith.
Okay.
Tall bastard. Tall bastard. But anyway.
Do you know who Binnington kind of reminds me of? He reminds me of, what's his name?
If you're about to say what I said the year before, which is the chef from Ratatouille, I'm going to kick your ass. Because that's who I said he looked like. He looks like Linguini from Ratatouille.
I'm not going to lie, I forgot you said that.
But you remembered I said it the second I was about to call you out on it that you were about to say
I
it.
forgot that you said
Who did you think told you that good joke? If it was a good joke, I said it. And if it wasn't, you thought of it yourself. Never forget that. It's deity rules. Anything that good happened, it was me. Anything bad, wasn't me.
Definitely.
Deity rules. Anyway, moving on.
Sure.
Moving on. All right, we're making pretty good time. Yep. Moving on to the main thing. Tom Wilson.
Oh, we got lots of time.
So if anyone doesn't know what we're about to talk about, please first off, go and check out a video. But before you leave, hit the like button. Because we don't know if you're gonna get busy later, so you might as well just do it now. I forgot to plug it earlier, so I'll plug it now.
Go for it. Just go for it.
Yeah. Anyway. Go check out the hit that Tom Wilson lays on Brandon Carlo. We'll wait. Okay, you're back? Yeah, we're talking about that hit. That hit was square in the head. That hit is horrible.
I don't like this hit.
I was extremely mad about this hit because... So first off, here's the thing. I'm just going to say this. Can I say one thing?
I don't like this hit, Sam I am.
Yes. I do not like it, Sam I am. I do not like this hit at all. Anyway, so home announcers need... Now, I'm not going to get too hard on them.
Oh, boy.
The Caps announcer...
I know where you're going with this.
Swept this under the fucking rug real easily. Mm-hmm. He said... His glove pushes into him a little bit on the main force of contact.
His shoulder doesn't hit the head. I believe that's exactly what he said. And yeah, and then it's just a big crunch from there. And I'm watching the clip. I'm watching the same footage as him. And I'm like, you fucking daft? Like, are you deaf?
And
are you stupid?
One thing I want to make clear here, in order to have a hit to your head, it doesn't need to just be your shoulder that has to hit him in the head.
Yeah. Like minor hockey calls,
like
punching in the head, that gets called a head contact.
But like, for example, there's a lot of times where you see this quite a bit in minor hockey where guys will go into a hit, but the problem is instead of leading with their shoulder, they'll lead with their hands and they'll go like this.
So
they'll put their hands straight up and just get
this is the one thing actually I need to make. So let's get actually no, I'll circle around to that. But this hit is bad.
Yeah.
This hit is This is a bad hit by a repeat offender. This is gonna get suspension. If this doesn't get a suspension, I will if this doesn't get a suspension, the NHL is going to be bombarded with it.
Yeah.
Brandon Carlo was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance after this hit.
Now, one thing I want to make clear, in terms of determining if a hit was clean or dirty, I don't think you can necessarily just say that because he was injured, that means it was dirty. However, at the same time, him ending up being injured, there's no positive. It can only make things worse. Yeah.
So
I just want to make sure that's clear. That's not the deciding factor.
And it's worth noting, even if you don't even need to look at this on with heavy replays. Watch, when he makes contact with him. Look at Wilson comes in. Carlos like this. There's a space between Carlo's head and his body where Wilson's body goes. It's kind of creepy because he kind of just goes out like that, right off the head.
His head popped off and then...
you know what I mean? You know what I mean, though? You've seen the replay, right?
Yes.
His head kind of goes out. You can see the motion of Wilson. Yes. So, this is going to get a suspension. This, minimum 3 games. I would argue this should get him 6 to 7 games.
And
why?
Repeat offender.
Repeat offender.
Yeah.
And not even just repeat offender.
Numerous repeat
offender and consistent repeat offender. Not even a week ago, we were talking about a hit that he laid on Evgeny Malkin that looked late.
Yeah.
Not even a week ago. And this is what I don't I just hate this because Tom Wilson is not he's not a terrible player. He's not. He has top 6 potential. Believe it or frickin' not. He does.
And you know what hurts me about this? Tom Wilson is completely capable of making good, clean hits.
Yeah.
I've seen him do it before. He's laid some really good, hard hits and dropped guys on their asses, and it's clean, and it's good, and it's gorgeous.
Yes. So,
but it's this kind of shit that just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't there's no reason for it to happen.
Here's the thing, okay?
It's 100% avoidable.
So, here's a hit and I want to explain why this hit is so wrong compared to a hit that you might see in the same location. So, last year, I believe, Adam Lowry laid a hit on Alex Tuck. Fans thought it was high. And this led to the very notable Reeves and Lowry fight where Lowry won. He did. Yes, he did. But anyway, the hit that in question was in the same point, the same corner. Is Alex Tuck's coming in along the boards, and Lowry just kind of he meets him. He meets him right as he comes in and gets him. Does he catch a little bit of head? Maybe, but it was more of an interception. Here, Brandon Carlo is standing still. And the puck is beside him. Verano's the guy who's standing next to Carlo and makes a good job to set almost a pick. So there's only one way out of this location, and Carlo needs to first dig the puck out and go.
Yeah.
Wilson's play here needs to be to recognize that his body's here, the puck is there though. Grab the puck and go. Or, at the very minimum, if you're not going to do that, pin him.
Exactly, yeah.
He lays a hit, though. He chooses to make this hit.
This
is not a hit that you should be choosing to make.
This is Tom Wilson deciding to take a run at someone.
Yes, because
he's seeing a guy in a vulnerable position. He sees the puck there. Oh, I guess the puck there is in the area, so it must be clean, so I'm just going to go for it. Because he knows that Carlo has nowhere else to go.
I'd argue that. I'll argue that. I'm not, because here's the thing. And I will argue this, and this is the only defense I will have for Tom Wilson, but I refuse to overgeneralize when explaining why a person is guilty of a hit, because when you overgeneralize, people can poke holes in your story and then you're screwed.
What do you mean by that?
This is what I will say.
Yep.
Carlo's not in a vulnerable position. Tom Wilson makes him a vulnerable position by choosing to hit him. Carlo's like this on the boards. This isn't even vulnerable. That's not vulnerable. The way Wilson hits him makes him vulnerable. Because but you know what I mean, though.
Sort of.
It's not like where he's standing a foot away from the boards with his back to Wilson, which is very typical, or like where he's standing like this, like how Nathan McKinnon happened to be when he was hit. Also, by the way, the hit on Nathan McKinnon, I didn't think should be suspended. I thought it would be a fine. They gave the guy 2 games. What are you gonna give Wilson? There was no penalty on this play, by the way, which I cannot believe. Because here's the thing. Do I think the referees caught it properly? No. But actually, I think there's an argument to be made. This is 5 minutes. This is an easy 5-minute major. And 5-minute majors can get reviewed. Because they changed that rule after what happened with the Cody Eakin, Joe Pavelski incident.
Yeah, and also, one thing that I think is worth noting, when it comes to a 5-minute major penalty, correct me if I'm wrong, but the linesman can make that call, right? For a major penalty?
I'll have to look up. In minor hockey, that is true. In minor hockey, it's true. In that the linesman can initiate a call for
only a 5-minute major.
But 5-minute major or more. So match penalty, stuff like that. But in NHL, I'd have to double check on that because they have how many refs do they have? They have 2 refs, don't they?
They got 2 refs, 2 linesmen.
Yeah, so in that 2-ref system, they might not bestow that power onto them because of that. But yeah.
I'd have no problem if they did, though.
But honestly, just conversions say we need a review because Carlo was down. He was not. They needed to take him to the hospital. But anyway, here's the thing, though.
Do we know the status of him yet or no?
He's in the hospital, last I checked.
Well, okay, well...
They're not really releasing hourly reports, I don't think, at this time. I could check it right now.
Yeah, check. Well, it's he's got a concussion, here's the thing. He's got this, he's got that.
Yes, here's the thing. People that want to point the finger at Brad Marchand,
I don't remember. I don't think Brad Marchand has had an offense in a decent amount of time.
It's funny. Brad Marchand hasn't had a real offense in a while. Brad Marchand, though, has had things where he's pissed people off. Here's the difference, though, between Brad Marchand and Tom Wilson. Brad Marchand plays with a lot of... And this is the difference, though. Brad Marchand uses his skill level a lot better than Tom Wilson. He's also a better player than Tom Wilson.
Brad
Marchand shouldn't be understated.
I don't think... And you know what? Like you were saying earlier, Tom Wilson can be a top 6 talent. But if you compare him to Brad Marchand, no offense to Tom Wilson, but I think Brad Marchand is a far better player.
They cannot confirm that he suffered a concussion.
Yeah, although I think I would not be surprised.
But anyway, yes. But anyway, the difference though is that when Brad Marchand does stupid things, he does it in a way he doesn't do it to take a guy out or to lay a hit on someone. He does it to impact the game in a way that helps favor his team.
Yeah, well, one thing I will say about that first. I think some of his first offenses that he got in the NHL, like some of the slew foot stuff, I think that stuff was a bit more dangerous. In terms of the actual injuries. However, if you've looked at the crap he's gotten into nowadays, it's mainly like you were said, him just kind of pissing people off, or something that's gonna hurt like hell when it first happens, but you'll be fine in about 10 minutes.
Not even just that. It's things that are purely with dealing with emotion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As opposed to Tom Wilson. Wilson has this ability to really be actually someone scary on the ice. And I'm not talking
like, to play against. I'm just saying, like, he comes across like a Scott Stevens on the ice to me, where players need to watch where they're skating when he's on the ice. That is okay in 1992. That is not okay in 2021, where at the speed that Tom Wilson is hitting people and the way he's hitting them, it is just not the same game. I understand that the game nowadays feels softer than what it used to be, but you have to understand that what it used to be was brain damage. What it used to be was career enders.
Yeah.
People's careers were shortened by that. Bobby Orr would have had one of the best careers an defenseman could have had, but he got chopped to shit every time he picked the puck up.
And
It hurts the best players when teams get dirty.
And what disturbs me about this is that, like, I get the whole thing where, you know, the NHL is, you know, maybe a bit softer, but there are still plenty of players in this league that can play with almost as much grit, but not make stupid plays like this. You can play gritty. You can play aggressive.
Credit where credit is due.
Like, you can play aggressive and not do stupid shit.
I'm not the biggest Ryan Reeves fan, even though he is from Winnipeg, but, like, playing against him is a pain because he just
As a person, he's amazing.
As a person, he's amazing, but on the ice, he just thinks he's all that, and he's a fourth liner.
Yeah.
He's a fourth liner.
However, I feel
he's
like
a glorified for a fourth liner.
To be fair, I feel like some of that, him, like, acting like he's amazing, I feel like part of that is gameplay.
Well, he's in Vegas.
Well, you know.
Anyway, my point.
He wants to get under
The
people's
point I'm
skin.
getting to, though,
Yeah.
he's kept it clean this year, for the most part. Evander Kane, for the most part, has been able to balance his game. Evander Kane actually is what I would explain. Evander Kane, so on the scale of annoying to skill, it goes Brad Marchand, Evander Kane, Tom Wilson, Ryan Reeves? No, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I have one thing that you were saying that you wanted, what's his name, to balance his game or whatever? Evander Kane, I think?
Yeah. He's balanced his game a better.
He should balance his budget, though.
Yeah, he didn't balance his budget.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, like, but honestly, again here, I expect Wilson will get a hefty suspension. If he doesn't, this is gonna get a problem.
Minimum for me, minimum is 4 games for me.
I'm saying 6.
I'm saying like 4 at a minimum.
Okay, well I said 3. I set up 3 already, but I'm gonna say he should get 6 to 7 games.
I think he should get 7.
Yeah.
So
Don't copy my answer. You pick 4. You stick with 4.
No, I said 4 as a minimum, as a bare minimum. If he gets anything less than 4, if he gets 3, I'm not happy.
No. Honestly, even if he gets 3, even though I said minimum 3, if he gets 3, I'm gonna be pissed. If he gets if he gets 4, I might not even like that. He should get at least 5.
Yeah.
A chunk of his season salary should be taken out for that hit.
5 or more.
Yeah.
Honestly, give him 10.
There was
give
no-
him 10 games
Okay,
just as a repeat
Yes.
offender, and
there
I'm
was
okay.
no penalty on the play, so he gets to play that game. You should add an extra game because of that. Like, this is infuriating as a person that watches hockey because it's like, that is not how you play. You can't just go around murdering people in the head.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And I feel bad for Boston fans who, you know, are big fan of Carlo. You know?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to see him play for a bit.
I will say this though,
Because of stupid shit.
this has kind of culminated though over this series that the Capitals and the Bruins have played. We're not going to get into it because we don't have time. But there's that thing with Ovechkin and Frederick, which is funny. There was that other thing with Ovechkin and Frederick, which was painful if you ever think of having children. There was that thing with Zdeno Chara almost hunting down Brad Marchand after Brad Marchand. I looked like he tried to pick a fight with like I don't even know, Jensen or whatever the hell his name is. I don't know. And then I love the fact that when Zdeno Chara goes after Marchand, because Marchand just, I don't know, he's starting to fight with someone else, starting shit with someone else. Patrice Bergeron doesn't say a word even. Puts his arm around Zdeno Chara, and Chara stops. And to me, that shows that lead. Like, let's be honest. Zdeno Chara was captain, yes. Patrice Bergeron was always a locker room leader. I'll say this. And we can discuss, we don't have time to discuss this, but I will just say it's nice to see that he's, the respect that he gets is league-wide from peers.
Love Bergeron.
But anyway, so we're going to leave that here. We tried to keep this one simple this time rather than bounce around like we have in the last couple. Just 3 main, concise topics. I don't know when this...
That we can expand more
Yes.
on.
I don't know when this will drop. If this is your first time watching, thank you for making it this far in the video. Please subscribe to us if you haven't already. We would greatly appreciate it. We're about 216 right now. We're trying to hit 300, not necessarily by the end of this month, but maybe around the next month. But I think if we're being honest, what's our goal for the year here? 500?
For the year?
500?
For the year, yeah.
500. I'd say 500.
For now.
Yeah, 500 year-end goal. So please be a part of that. We would greatly appreciate it. And be sure to comment down below your thoughts on all the things we've discussed. We love hearing the top criticisms, comments, compliments, all of that. It's all great to hear. And don't forget to like the video if you haven't already.
And share it
follow
around.
us. Yes, share it around, of course. Follow us on Instagram at No One Hockey Podcast.
Tell everyone you know.
And
about
I think that
this
is it.
I think so.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time, which is tomorrow, actually, because I'm doing a Jets game reaction.
And who are we playing? Leafs?
Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah,
Then we
no.
play the Leafs 3 more times.
Okay.
Okay.
Kiss.
We'll see you then.